Glutamate is the most abundant neurotransmitter in the human brain. Glutamic acid decarboxylase is an enzyme that enables the conversion of glutamate into GABA and carbon dioxide. Glutamate is excitatory and indirectly facilitates the modulation of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin receptors. What this means is that glutamate is necessary to initiate drive, to help us connect with other people, and to help us connect with our work. It gives us focus and makes us want to realize our dreams and makes us feel connected to family and loved ones. And since glutamate is excitatory, eventually this activity needs to be harnessed and dialed back to maintain balance. This process is called the GABA shunt, and it begins when an enzyme called glutamic acid decarboxylase, or GAD, converts glutamate into GABA, which is the inhibitory or calming neurotransmitter. This is how the delicate balance of mood is maintained in the human brain. Get excited about life, get work done, calm down and reflect, rinse and repeat. Some individuals, however, produce an antibody which targets the GAD enzyme, limiting the conversion of glutamate into GABA. This causes glutamate levels to accrue in the brain, potentially causing symptoms of excitotoxicity. Since many of the nootropics popular today enhance the action of glutamate, these can potentially cause excitotoxic symptoms to emerge in individuals producing these antibodies. GAD antibodies are associated with several medical conditions, including type 1 diabetes, stiff person syndrome, limbic encephalitis, autoimmune polyendocrine syndrome, and even type 2 diabetes and prediabetes, although the association is not nearly as strong as with type 1. GAD antibodies can also be found in individuals with many other autoimmune disorders, such as autoimmune thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Crohn's disease, IBS, and many others. Immediately, you might say, well, I don't have any autoimmune disease, and I haven't tested positive for any GAD antibodies. I feel healthy. Wouldn't I know if I had a disease? In the United States, some estimates put undiagnosed autoimmune disorders at 5% of the population, and simply put, you don't have to suffer from an active disease to produce these antibodies. There are different tests that can be used to determine the presence of GAD antibodies, and the specific test used may depend on the purpose of the testing and the laboratory's preferences. Nonetheless, if you're having anxiety problems with your nootropics, or if certain supplements or even foods are causing a negative reaction, jitteriness, nervousness, foggy head, fatigue, or lethargy, then glutamate sensitivity may be something to consider. Some nootropics which enhance glutamate modulation include N-acetylcysteine or NAC, memantine, all ampakines, D-cycloserine, phosphatidylserine, and virtually all racetams. One of piracetam's primary mechanisms for enhancing cognitive function probably works by modulating the activity of glutamate receptors, specifically the AMPA and NMDA receptors. I personally know people with autoimmune disease who have a horrible time with piracetam, aniracetam, sunifaram, phenylpiracetam, which is very confusing since the safety profile for piracetam is decades long and well established. Licorice root, echinacea, St. John's wort, these all can give somebody problems if they produce GAD antibodies. And even omega-3 fatty acids can hypermodulate the immune system, although this is rare. For an individual who is sensitive to glutamate, who would very much like to nurture and maintain their mental faculties and even experiment with enhancement beyond simple protection, there are several options applicable. Several supplements and nootropics exist that can enhance mental function without directly modulating glutamate receptors. A few examples include Bacopa monnieri, an herb traditionally used in Ayurvedic medicine to improve memory and cognitive function, Rhodiola rosea, an adaptogenic herb that may improve mental performance and reduce mental fatigue. In fact, many known adaptogens are nootropic and athletic enhancers, while also regulating the glutamic acid GABA function. Ginseng is a traditional Chinese herb that may enhance cognitive function, improve memory, and reduce mental fatigue. Caffeine is the world's most popular drug and is often stacked with L-theanine, an amino acid found in green tea. L-theanine improves relaxation, focus, and mental performance, and is anti-anxiety without sedation. The caffeine-L-theanine combo is probably the most documented and most understood nootropic stack. Most of the popular nootropics and stacks have only anecdotal evidence for efficacy or animal models with very few human studies. Not so with caffeine and theanine. There are dozens of studies showing an increase in speed and efficiency when switching tasks quickly, short-term increases in spatial IQ, improved memory retention, and reaction time. L-theanine is a tricky one because it's actually structurally related to glutamate and is a glutamate reuptake inhibitor. But it also increases the expression of glutamate transporter 1, which removes excess glutamate from the synapse and prevents excitotoxicity. It also acts in the hippocampus as a competitive low-affinity glutamate receptor antagonist. Basically, it can affect every person differently, so if it gives you problems, try an alternative. I mentioned Bacopa, which is called Brahmi in Ayurveda. Bacopa may have similar effects in alpha brainwaves as L-theanine and could potentially reduce stress and anxiety while improving cognitive function. Ashwagandha also has been traditionally used to reduce stress and promote relaxation and combines very well with caffeine. Lastly, I want to mention creatine, which most people associate with bodybuilding supplements because it facilitates muscle growth and repair. But creatine is necessary for cells to produce ATP, which is the source of all of our energy. Creatine is a powerful nootropic and is necessary for cognitive function. Supplementation has been shown to be very effective for increased brain function, especially in tasks that require short-term memory and rapid processing. I hope you found this information helpful. If you got something from it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and your body and your brain will thank you for it.